Paranormal with Ashley Darkwood. This is our first in what's hopefully going to be a long series of YouTube videos looking at all aspects of the paranormal. Today I'm going to be on my own, but hopefully in the future we're going to have guests who are experts on cryptozoology, ufology, even skepticism, all things like that. But one of the first things I wanted to really jump in with, it's something that has really annoyed me since the mid-90s. The internet has been such a great tool for so many reasons, using the internet now. However, something began to happen with the internet where you would have one mistruth on one website, and that mistruth has now been copied and pasted throughout thousands and thousands of websites. And it's really easy to spot people who have learned their craft from the internet, because they've all got that same kind of cookie cutter kind of verbiage. Just the vernacular they use, the diction they use, all seems to come from like a central source online, and that central source isn't always correct. So it's quite easy to spot people who have got real applied experience versus people who have just Googled stuff. So one of the things I want to look into, we're going to go straight in at the deep end here, and this has kind of gone beyond any kind of level of paranormal investigation. We're going straight in at the deep end and assuming that there are such things as spirits, spirit entities. And straight in at the deep end, like I say, we're assuming that we need to do things to help these spirit entities move on, stop being a dickhead, stop haunting people's houses, stop being a poltergeist, things like that, things of that nature. Okay? So, in recent times, I've heard many mediums talk about doing a spirit rescue. Now, I found that quite strange, because a spirit rescue to me is something very specific. And upon looking into it, I found out that these mediums are actually talking about something different to a spirit rescue. Okay, you have clearing, cleansing, moving on, and rescue. And now all of these four terms are being used interchangeably because of the internet. Okay, people who started describing these things on the internet had no experience of what each one was. So I want to take you back to a time when they had distinct identities. Now, in the 80s, I knew several rescue mediums. Most of them are dead now. In fact, almost all of them are dead. And since the 80s, I've met maybe 3 rescue mediums. Just 3 rescue mediums. Now, a lot of mediums I know out there will say that they do rescue work, but let me explain what I mean by rescue mediumship. Now, a lot of us will be familiar with attachments, okay? And for whatever reason, these spirit attachments haven't gone to the light, or whatever you want to call it, and they remain in this kind of environment, in this kind of dimension, if you like. And in order to remain in this dimension, in this kind of universe, if you like, they need to attach to something to draw their energy from. That could be a person, a place, an object. As long as they're attached to something, they're feeding from it. This is something where spirit and all living animals all have something in common. We all need to draw from an energy source. Obviously for humans, it's food, it's sunshine, it's oxygen, things like that, water. For the spirit realm, slightly different. So, where we do a cleansing, a clearing, and a moving on, we're talking about a spirit who is basically stuck in this environment, okay, in this dimension, in this place. So you can actually go to where it is that they're stuck, and you can help them. You can do something. You can even kind of do that remotely. But it's almost like they're in the here and now. Now, for spirit rescue, you're not dealing with the here and the now. This soul, this spirit, where it was that they were trapped, if you like, there is no longer any source for it to attach to. The physical environment might be gone. The person it was attached to might be gone. The actual time it was attached to is gone. So it's almost gone into almost like a sleep mode, an energy saving mode. Now they're barely even spirit at this point, because they've used up so much of their own energy. They're almost very much like a very, very dim, dim ember. Okay? And you don't just go to that place and help them. You have to go to that place to help them. So yes, I'm talking about like a cross-dimensional experience. So this is where it needs to be a very, very skilled medium who does this. And not just the medium, you have like many people in many cultures, shaman, people like that who do it. But I'll use the word medium just for the sake of the argument. So again, you're not actually dealing with, I've got paranormal activity in my office, can you come and check it out? These souls who need rescuing, they present no paranormal activity. They present absolutely no, there's no sign of them being there. A medium cannot pick up on them being there because, again, they've gone into almost like a shutdown mode. You don't know that they're there. So how do you get to them, you ask? Well, this is where the practice comes in. You need to be very skilled and very sure and very safe in what you're doing. So over the years, most of them are now gone. I've met 3 in the last 10 years. Only 3 who actually do what I call rescue mediumship. So I kind of like to get back to that being rescue mediumship, because very few modern mediums don't actually know about it. They don't do it. They think rescue mediumship is going to do a cleansing. Now, a cleansing can be an unconscious energy. So it's almost like when you walk into a room and there's been an argument. That kind of vibe, the atmosphere. That's what a cleansing is. Okay. A clearing is a similar thing. Moving on is a soul that's probably attached to the here and now. We'll go into those a lot deeper at another time. But for now, I just really want to get that out of the way. Because again, there is so much mistruth on the internet that I really do implore you, if you're taking this seriously, okay, and you're wanting to do this to a proficient level where you're helping other people, I want you to ignore what you've been reading on the internet, okay? Because you just don't learn some things off the internet. The internet is full of myth truths that have been copied and pasted page after page after page, and it's one person's opinion. I would actually implore you to actually go and study with an experienced medium, a medium who does this not for glory, not for fame, not for any financial return. There is no financial return when doing rescue mediumship. Who's going to pay you? Nobody. So again, it's something that you will be doing very much in privacy, in secrecy. And you probably won't even have any knowledge or recall of it, any memory of it. So it's certainly not for any kind of glory. So if this is something that you're looking to do, you're looking to resolve these problematic paranormal occurrences, I would actually definitely recommend that you find a medium who knows what they're doing. Okay, so now we're fully understanding what the difference between rescue mediumship is and what modern day practices are. Another thing you want to be looking out for is the overuse of sage. Sage is massive overkill in 99% of the situations that you will be using it for. Put it this way, you wouldn't brush your teeth with bleach, would you? Now we know that bleach kills 99.99% of all germs because it says so on the advert. But you don't use bleach to brush your teeth, and why? Because you need friendly bacteria in your mouth, in your system. And we recognise that bleach is too strong. It will harm us if we actually ingest bleach. So again, using sage is massive, massive overkill for 99% of the cases that you will use it for. Actually do a little test. So if you're a person who always sages your house, use sandalwood, use frankincense. See the difference. It will have exactly the same effect of cleansing the energy, but you won't be left with that void of energy. Sage will remove all energy from your house. But then you need to use sandalwood or frankincense or something like that afterwards to reintroduce the positive energy. So you may as well just use those in the first place and leave sage until you really, really need it. Sage is just, it's used willy-nilly these days. And a lot of the vendors of sage will actually say, oh, this is great for smudging your home and this. They're sellers, they don't know what they're talking about. Quite often these, I think back to when I was in college and I was working in a DIY store. I didn't have a clue what I was selling. But oh yeah, this stuff's good, yeah, have that. It's the same thing. A lot of the people who are selling this stuff have got no practical and applied experience. I have, okay, and I've found over the years that using sandalwood, frankincense, things like that are perfectly acceptable in the majority of cases. Save the sage until you really, really need it. Anyway, kept this one nice and brief. Wanted to get in and out, quick introduction. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, all over the good stuff. Catch you later on.